Welcome back to NFL Imperialism, but every player is in their prime. All of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers has been boosted to the highest overall he's ever been, back to a 99. And the same goes for many familiar names that dominated the league years ago. But before I name drop to the teams, as always, I will spin for team selection and a direction, and the teams will attack and expand until there's one team remaining. If a team's arrow lands another team, they will battle head-to-head, with a winner claiming all land to their best player. And an arrow to an unclaimed state will be an expansion which grants a player from the free agent pool, which will be very strong today. That's because some players who were once prime superstars are now unemployed. For instance, Stephon Gilmore is the lone 99 overall free agent, waiting to be claimed by the first team to expand today. Odell Beckham Jr. is a 96, his highest rating ever, dating back to his Cleveland Brown days in Madden 20. Dalvin Cook is back to a 95. It's crazy how fast he fell off. His own brother James Cook completely shadows over him now. And Ezekiel Elliott is back to a 94, waiting to be claimed as well. But before we go over our best teams, let's take a look at our power-ups today. Landing in the state of Utah is Evolved, where this team's bottom two players will be boosted to the overall of their best player. Heading northwest to the state of South Dakota, we get Rewind finally back, where this team gets to add 2 players from their franchise's history, so it went from 1 to 2. Now heading south to Mississippi, where Clover lands, where this team will get 2 extra entries on the selection wheel. South Carolina is up next, which they get Double Trouble, where this team will get 2 players for every successful attack. Jumping over the Carolina Panthers into Virginia, we get Afterlife, where this team will get a second life. And right next door in West Virginia is Clone, where this team will get a second land area. And just down the street in Delaware, we have a new power-up today called Fast Forward, which is the opposite of Rewind, where this team will get to add 2 of their best players on their team after a 10-year franchise simulation. And finally, up to Vermont, we have the classic Bandit, where this team will get to steal 2 players from 2 random teams. Now let's talk about the best teams. We'll start with the Steelers. I already mentioned Aaron Rodgers is a 99, but you know who's also joining him in that club? Jalen Ramsey on defense at a 99 overall, and TJ Watt as well, who's currently in his prime of his career at his highest Madden rating ever at a 97. Kansas City will look really good today, as they're going back to, you know, the time where everyone did not hate them. Mahomes is a 99, Kelsey's a 99, Chris Jones is a 97, right up there with the Steelers. The Commanders are a banged up old team in real life, but this is their episode of shine, with Bobby Wagner at 99 overall, Von Miller at 99 overall, Marshawn Lattimore 92 overall. All of these players have been playing for at least 8 or 9 years now. San Francisco is the same story. This team can just not stay healthy. All of these players are essentially in their prime right now, except CMC, who's not a 99 anymore. Trent Williams is currently a 99, and George Kittle is a 98 as well. But the most threatening team today, I believe, is the Baltimore Ravens, with 3 99s, a trio at quarterback, running back, and receiver. Lamar Jackson 99, Derrick Henry 99, and DeAndre Hopkins back to a 99 overall. Just to give you an idea how top heavy this episode is, I'm just going to scroll through all of the 99s and just high rated players. There is a lot of them today. So now let's go over our map, and there is a lot going on the East Coast today. First team of interest is the Carolina Panthers, who's in the near vicinity of 4 power-ups today, with 2 sharing their borders. They might not have the roster compared to some teams north of them, but if they get going early, they have a high chance of winning today. Let's talk about the teams north of them, and a lot of these teams I already talked about in the intro how good they are. The Steelers, the Ravens, the Commanders. It's going to be very unfortunate that only one team can come out of this area alive. And the tradition continues, with the Denver Broncos will share a border with a power-up to begin. I wonder how many episodes in a row this has happened. And with all that being said, we have 32 teams in their prime. We have 8 power-ups, and we have 1 country waiting to be claimed as one. We will begin NFL Imperialism on turn number 1. But before we begin, Santa's not the only one dropping packages this year, if you know what I mean. And that's why Santa delivered to me the perfect in-season festive Dude Wipes Dingle Bells, perfect for keeping your downstairs merry and bright. Dude Wipes brings up an important question. Why wipe dry? Because you wouldn't want to shower with just a dry towel, so why should you wipe with dry paper? In this instance, wetter is better, as Dude Wipes are extra large, extra wet, and are made of 99% of water and plant-based natural fibers, which makes them flushable. But on top of the seasonal Dingle Bells, you can find other scented options, such as shea butter, mint chill, or the one I have here, which is herbal relief. I don't think your other wipes out there can do this. You can also get packs for every situation. Big packs at home, travel sizes for the gym or vacations, or even on-the-go wipes perfect for your wallet or a stocking stuffer. Santa's not the only thing sliding down a chimney this year, so leave no trace. Get Dude Wipes today on Amazon and at local retailers nationwide, because even Santa keeps a pack in his sleigh. Thanks to Dude Wipes for sponsoring today's video, and let's get spinning with turn number 1. So, turn number 1 of Prime NFL Imperialism will begin with the New York Jets. I don't think you should be allowed to say the word Prime and Jets in the same sentence, but maybe they have some good players? Well, they will now. They get the first expansion today, which means they get the best player in the free agent pool. So Stephon Gilmore will join Sauce Gardner in the cornerback room in New York. Well, I guess they have a player in their prime now, as we now spin again for the Seattle Seahawks. Which, fortunate for them, they sit alone in the northwest part part of the United States of America, and they automatically get an expansion here for the next best player. This area will go northeast, which will clip the top of Idaho, which will give the Seattle Seahawks Odell Beckham Jr., but he's not even the best receiver in this room. Cooper Kupp in his prime, a 98 overall, and Jackson Smith-Njigba at a 91. Cooper Kupp gets that rating from his great 2021-2022 season where he won the Triple Crown and the Super Bowl. Now we go to the Dallas Cowboys. Are they looking for yet another expansion? We are quickly going through the free agent pool, the best players at least. They're going north. Make it 3 expansions in a row as the Dallas Cowboys will barely hit the top of the Oklahoma Panhandle. Man, they really want to get these good players out of the way. The Dean Scripps' videos crowd is gonna love this one. Ezekiel Elliott is signing with the Dallas Cowboys in the free agent pickup. It only made sense. Not a lot of good free agents left. We need to start losing some games. The Niners are up. This team is essentially in their prime when they're fully healthy, as they will travel southeast, giving us game number 1 today as the Niners will travel to Sin City to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Surprising start to say the least. However, the Raiders do have prime Geno Smith, although that's not saying too much, but we start really fast with a Christian McCaffrey rushing touchdown, and it should tie the game up at 13. That CMC touchdown brought us to overtime. Now, about what I was saying about Geno Smith, his prime in his career is 81, which he achieved in Madden 24. In real life, just for context, he is a 72 overall, so a big difference. Even worse, he started this Madden at a 78 overall, so the Raiders really should move on from Geno Smith, but at least he's in his prime today. He's an empty set. 3rd and 6 in overtime. He gets a first down to the 40. Good break off the slant by Trey Tucker. Now Genty gets his number called, and he only gains a yard or 2. 3rd down and 8. This is in range of the NFL kickers we have today, but I would imagine they want to get a little bit closer than this. 3rd and 8. Geno Smith, completion. First down to the 26. That went to Raheem Mostert. There he goes again, and this time he's going backwards. 2nd and 13. Geno keeps it on play action. He gets Redivit, and an incompletion intended for Brock Bowers. It's 3rd and 13. 2 for 2 on 3rd downs in this drive already. Can they get a 3rd? Brock Bowers is not close to the markers, and they'll have to kick a field goal from this distance. Carlson to make it 16 to 13 in overtime, and the Niners will get it back down by 3. This would be a disappointing bounce in game number 1 if the Niners cannot come up with points here. It's a fumble. It's on the ground. The Raiders pick it up. The Niners will lose game 1. Jeremy Chin with the fumble recovery. The Niners, George Kittle, CMC, Fred Warner, Trent Williams, Brock Purdy, all in their prime, lose the first game today. It goes to the backup tight end Tongues who fumbles it. Why not go to George Kittle in that situation? Final score 16 to 13 from overtime. The first player still today will be Christian McCaffrey as he heads to Vegas. I will have to warn you guys about a mistake I made in this video, as some players are still in IR. I forgot to change the rosters when I was editing it, so that means Fred Warner and Nick Bosa cannot be released. Therefore, they will not be in the free agent pool today, as alongside other players like Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans. But what a huge first win for the Las Vegas Raiders, taking down the Niners. An insane turn 1 with 3 expansions and one of the best teams ever in this series knocked out in the very first game. Now let's go to the Cleveland Browns, who, other than Myles Garrett, they do have somebody in their prime you might have to watch out for, especially if you're going to your local massage parlor. You could probably guess who it is. I'm kidding. We all know Deshaun Watson is innocent, as in his prime, he's a 91 overall, and he's taking on the Indianapolis Colts on the road. This is a tough first game for Deshaun Watson back in his prime. He's playing a really good Indianapolis Colts team, but he throws one up for a catch at the 13-yard line. I believe that was Isaiah Bond with a grab. Now Jerome Ford hits the outside, can't break one tackle, but he brings it to the 9. I know they have a decent quarterback now, but this really could be another huge upset to start. David Njoku gets the first down on the 2. Can they punch this one in with Jerome Ford? No, going backwards, lost the 2. Wasting some more time, Jerome Ford breaks this one, and he just short of the plane. He almost had it. This is sneak territory for Deshaun Watson. Yes, it is, but DeForest Buckner comes up with a huge stop, which makes it 4th down and goal. Can the Colts stop the Browns here? Jerome Ford walks it in. They almost stopped him, but the Browns can take the lead with the extra point. Not to my surprise, the Colts go right down the field and are threatening to score a touchdown. The Browns might start calling timeouts. Never mind, 90 seconds remaining. Daniel Jones steps up to this throw. There's a flag, but it's a first down to Pittman at the moment. Holding on the offense, that's a pretty big penalty. Back him up 10 yards and stop the clock. 2nd and 18. This is get those yards right back. So now it's 3rd down and 9. If the Colts can't pick up this first down, Cleveland gets another shot. Daniel Jones just gets rid of it, and incomplete. Josh Downs couldn't hold on. Clock stops with a minute and 23. A very costly offensive holding call, which now means the Browns actually get some time to put some points on the board. They had that first down on lock. It would have drained out the clock if holding wasn't called. Minute and 15 remaining. Can they cook up a field goal winning drive? David Njoku starts strong with a first down. 69 seconds remaining from the 34, and this one will be 8 yards out of bounds. Okay. 61 seconds. Deshaun Watson's gonna run, and he breaks through the linebackers for the 49. Still holding on to that final timeout in their back pocket. This would be a huge upset, but David Njoku can't come down with it. That was field goal range right there, but they'll get this one to Jerry Jeudy as he gets to the 43. Their final timeout's called with 34 seconds. Looking at a 58-yard field goal from this distance. Not anymore. There goes Isaiah Bond, the rookie, into field goal range. They have no timeouts, however. All he had to do was run out of bounds. Now, the Browns cannot get their field goal unit on the field, so they're going to run a play with 8 seconds. This has to be out of bounds or what was that? What was that? The Cleveland Browns choke away this game and just awful time management. We were this close to having two really good upsets in our very first two games, but the Colts will hold on. They'll win game number 2, 23-21. Madden 26, everyone. Gotta love it. But now Myles Garrett will head to Indianapolis on right edge, 99 overall. Yeah, I think calling that timeout with 34 seconds probably led to your downfall, Cleveland. You're always gonna have a team lose like that in one of these episodes. You just can't do anything about it. It's inevitable. But here's the New England Patriots. They do share a border with a power, but it's gonna be a tough land on as they'll go south. They'll miss out on the Bandit, but they'll get an expansion to the state of Connecticut, giving them a really good player. And so as a result, we'll start dismantling the 49ers. George Kittle to New England. Talking about Prime, I guess that could be their version of Rob Gronkowski today as we go to Chicago. Not a lot of good players in the Bears other than probably Kevin Byard as they head north, which will give us Bears-Packers. We don't really see this rivalry ever in NFL Imperialism. It's good to see it here. Considering that the Bears Prime roster is essentially the same roster they have now, it's impressive to see them up against the Green Bay Packers on the road as well, but Jordan Love has been really bad in home games so far. Christian Watson is back to the 20. I'm talking about the game we just played against the Carolina Panthers that happened today. My goodness. Well, the Bears are a good team. Let's see if they can hold Jordan Love out of the end zone. Love just barely gets rid of this one. That could have been a fumble. Need to reach the 7-yard line for a first down. Jordan Love. This one's batted out in the air. It's 4th and 8. They have to kick a field goal. So Caleb Williams will get another shot with 4 minutes remaining, tied at 24. Caleb Williams' first pass goes to Cole Kmet, gain of 9. Crazy to say this, but there's a chance Micah Parsons isn't even in the prime of his career as he was lined up as cornerback right there. Interesting. Now first down with 3 minutes remaining. Caleb Williams was almost sacked by Micah Parsons, but he escapes it. DJ Moore gets a good block. DJ Moore to the 30. He breaks off Xavier McKinney, and he's tackled to the 26. A beautiful rollout and throw by Caleb Williams. That's what he's been so good at this year, but this time, not so beautiful. He goes down for a loss of 5 thanks to a sack by Brooks. Let's see if the Packers can get this football back. They need to force a field goal. Not gonna happen. DJ Moore, another huge first down. I guess Green Bay will still have a shot depending on how fast the Bears score, and that was super easy. DJ Moore was just a weapon on that drive. The Bears in the end zone up by 6. It's time for a redemption drive for Jordan Love. There's the fan favorite screen pass by Matt LaFleur. That accomplishes absolutely nothing as we're under 60 seconds. Jordan Love just barely gets one off, but Romeo Doubs comes down with it at the 45. Empty set for Jordan Love. This is another first down. Matthew Golden after the catch gets to around the 23. Time management is another issue this game. 25 seconds left. They still have one timeout. They got to use it wisely though. This is incomplete, intended for Watson. 20 seconds remaining. Jordan Love, another incompletion. 3rd and 10. Now 19 seconds remaining. This is wide open. The Tucker Kraft who's in the end zone, and an extra point will tie this at 31. So that Tucker Kraft equalizer brought us to overtime where the Bears have first possession. 3rd and 4. Caleb Williams slings it up, and this is in double coverage. Can't be incomplete, or it would be 4th down, which it is. The Bears have to kick a field goal. Familiar spot for the Green Bay Packers. They'll trail by 3 this time. The last time a team was down by 3 points in overtime, it did not end so well for them. 2nd and 10. They're still staying on the run game. What are these plays Matt LaFleur's calling? I mean, game on the line, and you run back-to-back run plays. Now it's 3rd and 14, and this will be incomplete, so it comes down to a 4th and 14. Absolutely awful set of plays for the Green Bay Packers. They need 14. Somehow Tucker Kraft has it. Tucker Kraft gets past the secondary. Kraft at the 10. Kraft is in the end zone for a walk-off touchdown against the Chicago Bears. Just some minor setbacks for a large comeback. After running 3 of the worst possible play calls, the Packers respond in the wildest touchdown winner in overtime. Green Bay moves on. Final score 37-34. Depressing loss to the Bears. They are a good team on paper. So Kevin Byard will join the Green Bay Packers, who's a 92 overall thanks to his time in the Tennessee Titans. Man, that hurts the Bears. Just one play away. That's all you needed was one stop. An absolutely wild start today. 3 games in. Now we get to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best teams today. Definitely interested to see 99 overall Aaron Rodgers, who in his very first game will have to take on a challenge in the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. As expected, another close game. Look how many superstars on the field right now. 3rd and goal. Saquon Barkley gets the call, and he cannot break through the offensive line, or defensive line, I mean. It's 4th and goal at the 5. They got to kick a field goal. Definitely plenty of time for Prime Rodgers to work his magic. Down 3. The only problem, he's throwing to absolutely nobody as a receiver except DK Metcalf, but he's used to this. He had it with the Green Bay Packers. Here's a handoff to start for a gain of 4. Not ideally what you want to be doing at this point in the game. On the run, 1 to DK Metcalf. That's a first down to the 46. Stops the clock as well, so he gets a play out before the 2-minute warning, which will be a quick slant for a gain of 8. They're already getting close to Boswell's range, but surely they want to go for a win, and this is a first down to the 37 by Jalen Warren. 90 seconds ago, they're still running the football, so it looks like they just want to go to overtime. I'm decently shocked you have the best quarterback today and you're not utilizing him. This is what I'm talking about. Rodgers to DK Metcalf. It's a touchdown. That is exactly what I wanted to see out of prime Aaron Rodgers. You can't place that football any better than that. That is exactly what he's done all his career. The Steelers should go up by 4 with a minute remaining. Will we see a late game miracle here in Philadelphia like the one we saw in Green Bay? Not if Saquon Barkley takes flat routes from Jalen Hurts. We'll need to venture further down the field if we want to win this game. Jalen Hurts need to use his arm here, and incomplete, intended for Smith. 25 seconds ago, 3rd and 7. AJ Brown reaches for the first down, but he can't get out of bounds either. That might just do it. Will there be a 4th down late game miracle for the Philadelphia Eagles like there was for the Green Bay Packers? Well, at least they get the first down, but they need a lot more than that, as they'll call the final timeout. 14 seconds ago, TJ Watt was almost home, and this one is incomplete. 9 seconds ago, this is in the middle of the field. Once again, another time management error, but I don't think the Eagles were getting this one done anyways. The Steelers will walk into Philadelphia win the first road game today, 24-20. And as a result, prime Saquon Barkley is heading right next door to Pittsburgh. I believe this is the 2nd episode in a row the Steelers beat the Eagles. Remember, they used to struggle with the Eagles early on in this series. Well, it definitely helps when you have the best quarterback today and 99 overall Aaron Rodgers. But anyways, we move on to turn number 5. The Colts up again. Several options in play, and expansion would be nice because a lot of good players have hit the free agent pool. It might be going that way. Wow, that was close. They're going to dodge a matchup with the Bengals. They'll take the expansion to Kentucky. As a result, they'll claim peak AJ Brown at a 94 overall X Factor. Finally, a star wide receiver to join this stacked offense. It's just going to come down to see which Daniel Jones will show up for them, as next up is the New Orleans Saints. Not necessarily a team I'm looking forward to today. I mean, they have like Cam Jordan. He might be pretty good. They'll travel north. Another very close arrow, as this one's between Arkansas and Mississippi. The rule is wherever it touches white first. I think this is going to Mississippi first, so they'll go to Mississippi and they'll get the first power today, Clover. So now the Saints will get to add 2 extra entries in the selection wheel. We'll see if this helps them. And on top of that, their expansion player will be Lane Johnson, a 99 overall superstar right tackle. So now looking at the wheel, you can see there are 3 entries in total for the New Orleans Saints to get landed on. We'll shuffle it up and spin again for our next team. 2 expansions down. Now let's go back to the Cowboys. Already coming off 1 expansion, will they look for their second as they travel northwest? Yes, they will. They'll go to New Mexico. So 3 expansions in this turn already. So the Cowboys will get Jair Alexander for their expansion. It's important to mention that I'm recording this right after he was traded from the Ravens to the Eagles. So that's why the Ravens just lost. He was on their team. He's now a Cowboy. Another 3 expansion turn in the books. Let's go to the Falcons. They would sure like to get the 4th one this turn right next to them in South Carolina for double trouble. The Falcons will be heading north. Well, okay, they will get the 4th expansion as the Falcons will go north into South Carolina, if that makes any sense, and they will get double trouble. So now the Falcons will get to take 2 players for every successful win they get, if they get any at all. I guess we're just taking this team to bolster up our teams on the map, and the Falcons will also get a player for expanding, and that player will also be a 99 overall offensive lineman. This time it's Trent Williams. There goes 2 out of our 8 power-ups claimed, and now let's go to the Minnesota Vikings, who also have plenty of room to expand for our 5th possible expansion this turn. And how about our 3rd power-up this turn for our 5 expansions? This time it's Rewind for the Minnesota Vikings. They get to go back in time and get 2 players added to their team. On top of that, they also get the player for expanding, so they actually get to add 3 players. If this video couldn't get any more scripted enough, how about Dalvin Cook back to the Minnesota Vikings, just like Ezekiel Elliott to the Cowboys? The first player they will bring back with the Rewind will obviously be Randy Moss, who will be joining a already stacked wide receiver room with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen in his prime, even Jordan Addison at an 84. A lot of good options I could have done for the 2nd player. Could have done Chris Carter, could have done Adrian Peterson, but I decided to go with the quarterback Fran Tarkenton at a 91 overall. I think this is definitely a huge upgrade. They don't need any more skill position players. So 5 expansions down. Will we see a game? This is turning into an expansion simulator. Good thing it landed on the Chargers because that is an automatic matchup. They have nothing but teams sharing borders with them as they'll travel somewhere northeast. And it looks like the Chargers will have to take on the Raiders, the team that dethroned the 49ers. Another tough game upcoming for the road team here. This time it's LA. Chargers have 5 minutes to find the end zone and the 2-point conversion. Good block up ahead. It's a first down for the Chargers by Haskins. There are noticeable players in their prime. Keenan Allen on offense at 92 and Khalil Mack on defense is a 99. This one's a little overthrown for Ladd McConkey for 2nd and 10. Really could have been the touchdown they needed. Justin Herbert, a wobbly pass, and could have been intercepted if it stayed in bounds, but it's 3rd and 10. Justin Herbert stands still, 3rd and 10. He feels the pressure. He gets it off to nobody. nobody. It's 4th and 10. Thankfully, there was a receiver in the area. This is the correct call by Los Angeles. It should be 14-9. Granted, this goes to the uprights. Yes, it will. The Raiders are looking to ice this game away. They have CMC in the backfield. Geno Smith is back out there. He hands the football off to CMC, trying to break through, and he gains 6. That brings the clock down to 3 minutes, 15 seconds. How much more time can they waste? A lot more if they get first downs like this. CMC to the 49. He's taken out of the game, but they'll still hand it off to Ashton Jeanty. Crazy enough to say he's the second option now. The Chargers are calling timeouts. Back out there for 2nd and 6. This time, he gets nowhere. Second timeout call for LA. Will the Chargers get this football back? Geno Smith a throw. 3rd and 8. Geno Smith. No, Jacoby Myers drops it. It's 4th and 8. So Justin Herbert's back out there, but there's only 70 seconds remaining in this game. Staying in the flat, gets a first down, out of bounds. Good play. 67 seconds remaining. There's a first down to Quentin Johnston to the 40 in Raiders territory. Down to 40 seconds, staying short for a slant. Ladd McConkey has it for a gain of 8. They're still holding on to that one timeout. Yet they won't use it and let the clock go down to 15 seconds. They keep on throwing these short routes. There's Keenan Allen, I believe, involved, who gets it for a gain to the 20. They finally call their final timeout with 12 seconds. So if they're lucky, 2 or 3 shots at the end zone from the 20. This is incomplete. That could have been good, though, because that would have been down at the 1. 8 seconds to go. Justin Herbert steps up. He's going to run. Justin Herbert's going to run. What was he doing? Did he think he was going to score? He fumbles as well, so it's a double negative as the Raiders take it down to 0 seconds, get their second win today in Las Vegas. Another huge win, too, as they take down the Niners, then the Chargers. 2 very impressive teams. Could they be a threat today? And as a result, guess who's back in Las Vegas? Khalil Mack. Man, these acquisitions just feel so scripted. He'll be lining up next to Max Crosby as the edge rusher group. And one more team to go for the Raiders to claim the California Gauntlet as they completely trap the Los Angeles Rams. The first team today to multiple wins, the Las Vegas Raiders. Who expected that? Definitely not me. But let's go to a team I expect multiple wins out of. That's the Buffalo Bills. Although that will be a hard challenge today considering they share a border with the Pittsburgh Steelers, much better team in their prime. Instead, they'll go the other way, but this is another one of those very close arrow situations. It hits the Giants blue before anything else. This is going to be the Bills traveling to MetLife Stadium to play the Giants. Important to mention who's leading this team. 97 overall prime Russell Wilson. This isn't no freebie win for the Buffalo Bills. This is an interesting score in New York as the Bills trail by 2 points and they'll look to take the lead as they approach the 12-yard line. The question is by how much as James Cook takes it right down the Giants' throat for the first down. Let's see if they can chew up some of this clock by running the football more. 2nd and goal to 6. They're chewing up a lot of clock. They're finally passing it and they'll just take the points with this touchdown to Kincaid. So what's interesting about the score is that the Bills can lose this game even if the Giants put a touchdown on the board, but not if we go backwards through the air. Makes it 2nd and 15 for 97 overall Russell Wilson. That's more like it. First down to the 35. 2nd and 7. Tracy gets the handoff and it's going to be 3rd and 5. To pass on 3rd down and 5, Russell Wilson completes it again. Another 3rd down conversion. From around midfield, Wilson keeps it. It stays in the flat to Tracy. Tracy gains around 5. So now we're just past midfield, the 2-minute warning. It's an RPO. Russell Wilson keeps it. Prime Russell Wilson to the 30-yard line. 90 seconds remaining in this game. It's 2nd and 11, and this will be 3rd down. Timeout call to the 20. 3rd and 2. Russell Wilson winds up. Tight window for a conversion to the 2-yard line. A very accurate pass by Russell Wilson. Absolute bullet and fitted in right between the secondary. So now the Giants looking for that touchdown, and then the 2-point conversion afterwards as Tracy walks right in for 6. They're up by 1. Now the ever so important 2-point conversion because the Bills still have 3 timeouts with 65 seconds. Does Tracy get it again? No. Wilson keeps it, but going nowhere. A sack for a loss of 10 yards just about. Not successful. Bills down by 1 and can win with a field goal. Josh Allen needs to get in field goal range. He starts with an incompletion. Receiver couldn't hold on. 2nd and 10. Allen's going to run, and this will gain close to a first down. What a run. Interesting play call at that time, though. It's 3rd and inches, and they're in a jumbo formation, so they're going to run the football, but James Cook actually puts a solid gain on the ground there, so they're up to the 45. I mean, you got the first down, but why are we running? 45 seconds. Allen, completion, field goal range, back to the tight ends once again, Don Kincaid. Now we can run the football or keep on passing. Oh, wow, that could have been intercepted. They're still going to pass the football, however, almost intercepted. Oh, man, what are we doing? Just run the football now. 3rd and 10, still passing. He's just going to flow one up to the end zone, and this one's a touchdown. I guess that works. Keon Coleman went up for it. Now the 2-point conversion for the Bills will be successful, and it's a touchdown difference. Is there even a slim glimmer of a chance for Prime Russell Wilson. That's okay start. It looks as it's too little too late for the Giants to have a response. The Bills will close this one out, winning 27-20, and Prime Russell Wilson's drive ends there. Russell Wilson did play good, but unfortunately he is on the New York Giants. So now Dexter Lawrence will head over to Buffalo as defensive tackle, 97 overall. And New York will now be shared between the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. And onwards to turn number 7, where we will go to New England. In the same proximal area of the New York teams as the Patriots will head northwest, which will grant them the expansion to New Hampshire. They were just a couple pixels short of getting the expansion to Vermont to get the Bandit power up, but they'll still take the expansion pickup nonetheless, which will be Derwin James at a 93 overall X Factor. That's our 9th expansion through 7 turns. We see the Denver Broncos, so that's basically saying our 10th expansion. Although I will say the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of land underneath them, so there is a chance the Dallas or the Denver Broncos actually play a game. I lied, they're going north. You just can't break tradition, as the Denver Broncos will expand to Wyoming. If there's one thing they could use to upgrade for the Denver Broncos, probably the receiving room. That's going to happen here. Keenan Allen is now a Denver Bronco. That was the Broncos' 33rd expansion in the history of this series. Crazy. Now we'll go to the Los Angeles Rams. Remember, they're completely trapped. No need to spin an arrow. The Rams are engulfed by the Raiders, and they will be the 3rd of the 3 California teams to all go to Vegas. And let's see if I have a recent trend here where they all die in Vegas as well. It's been a field goal battle here in Las Vegas, 9-3, needing the first down. The Raiders convert to the 40. Now let's see if they can find the end zone to eventually beat the final and 3rd California teams. CMC for a first down. Ashton Jeanty in the game. Another first down for the Raiders. 3 straight first downs on 3 straight plays. Wasting absolutely no time to get in the end zone. Ashton Jeanty, well, the streak will end here as we're going backwards for 4. 5 minutes to go. Here's some pressure by the Los Angeles Rams. Can they get the Geno? No, they will not, as it's a catch. It's a touchdown in the end zone for the Raiders. It's Tyler Lockett, who's also in his prime. I believe he has a 90 overall. The Raiders will take the lead on this extra point. There was a lot of time remaining in this game, however. Some of the weapons this team has includes the 99 overall Devontae Adams, 92 overall Puka Nacua, and apparently Kyron Williams running for that first down. Can't forget Matthew Stafford, which at the time of recording this is a dark horse candidate for MVP. There's Devontae Adams, a 99 overall cross midfield to the 47. Clock is rolling. That's good for the Rams. Don't want to give this football back to Geno Smith, who's been red hot. This is a catch by Tutu Atwell to the 33. Never mind, that was Xavier Smith. Play action. Matthew Stafford is met instantly. Loss of 8 yards, a sack by Chin. Gotta watch out for this explosive pass rush the Raiders have. Khalil Mack couldn't get there. There's Puka Nacua gaining those yards back for 3rd and reasonable. Raiders are gonna want to force a field goal here. 3rd and 6. Quickly getting it off, but incomplete. 4th and 6. I think the Rams have to kick here. That is a huge drop because now the Raiders get the ball back with 2 minutes. They're down by 2 and they have all 3 timeouts. It's a good return by the Raiders too, already at the 45-yard line. This should make it pretty easy for Geno Smith at the 47 to Brock Bowers, passing midfield. Geno Smith wide open receiver for the first down. Jacoby Myers gets leveled, but he holds on to it. 90 seconds to go. Trey Tucker gains 8. Geno on a keeper. Geno gets good blocks. Geno needs to hold on to this. He will. Why not, I guess? Instead of going for a field goal, the Raiders have a passing touchdown to Jacoby Myers. And with that game-winning touchdown, the Raiders complete the California gauntlet. They take down the Niners, the Chargers, the Rams, and take control of the entire state and are 3-0 today. So as a result, guess who's going back to the Raiders? Why does this keep happening? Devontae Adams, the new best target in Vegas. And there you have it, as the Raiders will make the entirety of California gray. On to turn 8, just about a quarter way through today's episode. Let's go to the Detroit Lions. They'll be forced to play a game, and it's gonna be a tough one as they travel southeast and nowhere really else to go other than Indianapolis, as the Colts will play their second game today. It's a 5-point game here in Indianapolis. The Colts threatening to put more points on the board. The Lions want to come up with a stop here. 3rd down and 5. Indiana Jones completes the Josh Downs to the pylon. He's in the end zone. The Colts go by 2 scores. This is getting ugly quick. The Colts are threatening to put more points on the board. Jonathan Taylor to the 5. Yep, another Joshua Downs receiving touchdown, opening up a can of worms in the Lions. Usually the Lions are the ones dropping 35 points in a game, but they're gonna lose by round 3 scores here, 35-16. What's better than 1-star receiver? 2-star receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown to Indianapolis. The Colts' performance today is reflecting how they are as a team, rightfully so in real life. They are 2-0 today. On to turn number 9, as the Colts will begin to threaten the Midwest, we will head to the Carolina Panthers. They would love to get an arrow north of them, as that will claim afterlife. Do they get it? They will not. Instead, it goes to opposite, which is down south to South Carolina, hitting the Atlanta Falcons. If the Falcons win, they get still 2 players from the Panthers. I can't say I'm surprised one bit. I mean, this is the same team who lost them in real life 30-0. So the Atlanta Falcons make a big waste of the double trouble, as the Panthers will take it over. The Panthers will only get 1 player here because they just claimed the double trouble. They'll take Bijan Robinson for the Falcons. Hopefully they'll actually utilize him, unlike Atlanta. And they will begin this State Alliance with North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia together. Turn number 10. We haven't seen anything from the Ravens, the Commanders, any of the Florida teams. Here's the Dallas Cowboys, though. With 2 expansions under their belt, do they get a third? Yes, they will. They're taking all the Broncos expansions. They're going to take one to Kansas. Their third free agent acquisition today, they're going to replace Zach Martin after retiring. Trent Williams, 99 overall at left tackle. And despite the Saints landing on the Clover power-up, we have not seen them again, even with 3 entries on the wheel. We will see the Cowboys for the second time this turn. Back-to-back land-ons for the Cowboys. Will we see a 4th expansion? It's going in that distance. No, this is a really tough game for the Cowboys. Even with the 3 expansions they've got, they have to play Mahomes, Kelsey, and Chris Jones all in their prime on the road in Arrowhead. High-scoring game in Kansas City with the Cowboys and Chiefs, but this is just what I expected with the game with the Cowboys. Dak Prescott can't find anywhere to go as he loses 3 on the sack. They need to find a way to get in field goal range for Brandon Aubrey, who can kick really long field goals. There was a step there, but a good pass deflection makes it 4th and 13. McDuffie might have just saved a touchdown. 4th and 13. Final shot. Another incompletion. It's a turnover on downs. Cowboys would be lucky to get this football back, but they do come up with a sack on Mahomes. It's going to be 3rd and 12. They finally used their last timeout. They're going to pass the football. An interesting decision. They better come up with something here. Mahomes might just come up with a first down on his legs and then gets leveled at the end of it, but this should end the game. Prime Mahomes drops 41 points on this not-so-prime Dallas Cowboys defense, and so much for those 3 expansions they got today. The one thing Mahomes is missing in his prime is having a receiver like Tyreek Hill, so here's CeeDee Lamb, 95 overall X-Factor. A team named the Chiefs will take down the team named the Cowboys and steal their land back. It's symbolic. And here's the map with 10 teams down and 21 more to go. Yeah, I'm still kind of surprised that Florida has not been mentioned once today. Usually the Florida teams are the first ones to get eliminated. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers know a lot about that, but instead we'll see the same teams over and over again. It's the Colts. They have 2 wins today. I believe they also have an expansion. What else will they add to their resume as the Indianapolis Colts will head south? Well, not before it goes east, of course, as it's going to hit the bottom half of what remains of Ohio, hitting the Bengals as they'll miss out on the clone power-up in West Virginia. I was already spitting dirt on the Dallas Cowboys defense, but I should probably do the same for the Bengals, other than the fact that they've only allowed 12 points to the Colts in this game. Jonathan Taylor runs right up the middle for a gain of 3. Keep in mind, this offense looks really good. Daniel Jones keeps it. Daniel Jones runs further than JT. Also important to mention, I do have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow starting, but this is a first down for Indianapolis as they look to tie this game at least a field goal to Josh Downs. JT gets the call again, and he picks up a gain of 5. They're burning up a lot of clock by running the football. Jonathan Taylor gets the first down. Jonathan Taylor to the 5-yard line. Jonathan Taylor can't break the final tackle, but he's tackled at the 2-yard line. Do they just keep on going his way? Yes, they will, and this time he's in the end zone, so the Colts will take the lead in Cincinnati thanks to Jonathan Taylor. The reason why it's Joe Burrow over Joe Flacco is that Joe Burrow in his prime is a higher man rating than Joe Flacco ever was, but it looks like Joe Flacco should be playing based on that result. Flacco, since on the bench, is a 94 overall. He might need to come in. Down goes Burrow. Myles Garrett with the sack. Makes it 3rd down and 17, and Joe Burrow just goes short for only a gain of 5. They have to punt and rely on the Bengals defense to make a stop. 3 minutes to go now. Daniel Jones is going to pass as he throws one up in double coverage. Interesting decision. The clock will stop as well. I'm intrigued by this play call. You have the best running back in the league right now, but you're still passing it, but this time it does work for a first down to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Here's another run by JT as he gains 9 yards. That was actually A.J. Brown the last catch. They have A.J. Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but Jonathan Taylor gets the first down, and the Bengals have no timeouts. Will they get this football back? They will, maybe? Any miracle for the Bengals to force a stop here on 4th down and 1? Oh, yes, yes. Oh, my goodness. Jonathan Taylor met in the backfield, wanting to see a miracle out of Joe Burrow. T. Higgins gets the first down. No timeouts, though. Interesting call. 13 seconds. Surely this needs to be a shot to the end zone, or just end the game there. Yeah, okay. This game's over. Colts win. I don't know how many Maddens in a row I need to ask for updates to the simulation feature, but, I mean, that should just not happen. I'm about to make Daniel Jones look like prime Tom Brady with this receiving room. Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs. And with this win, the Colts moved to 3-0 today. They now share a border with the clone power-up, which would make them even stronger. On to turn number 12, where teams named Colts and Raiders have 54% of the wins today. As we move on to turn number 12, here is the Baltimore Ravens. Probably the best starting roster today. I'm glad to finally see them. They have 2 power-ups on their borders and 2 really good teams on their borders as well. Which one will it be? It will be a power-up, and it's a really good one, as they're going to jump into West Virginia before the Colts can get it to clone, where they're going to get a second land area. And on top of this, they'll also get a player for expanding, which is going to be Trent Williams, who has been passed around like a hacky sack today. So now for the power-up clone, we have a wheel right here with all the remaining unclaimed states that do not have a power-up on it. We'll spin it. Wherever it lands on, the Ravens will get a second land area, which is landing on the state of Alabama. And so now here's the second land area for the Ravens. Remember how clones clone works is that they can't attack from this main area, but if they get landed on from this area, then they'll play a game. They have to wait till they lose out in their first territory that they can start attacking from this one. And of course, that means the Ravens now have 2 lives in today's episode. Pretty strong power up, but let's go to Seattle. Chances are they'll take their second expansion today. It goes just to the top throw Oregon, so yes, they will. And so they'll pick up 97 overall Jahmyr Gibbs, which is not an X factor. Kind of surprising. It's a really high overall for not being one. As if their offense wasn't explosive enough. Now let's go to the Commanders. Anything south or west for them should get a power up as well, which I believe is Afterlife. Is it west enough? Yes, it is. The Commanders going to Virginia to get Afterlife, so 2 of the best teams today have 2 of the double life power-ups. And what's crazy is that those 2 exact teams share borders. And for the expansion, let's give Jaden Daniels more options with Puka Nacua. We're kind of flying through these power-ups. There are 3 remaining, however, and Ravens share a border with another one of them. But now let's go to the Titans, who are kind of a rock and a hard place right now, but I didn't really expect them to do much anyways. Let's see who this lands on. The Titans going south. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Good thing I explained how this works. It landed on the Ravens in their new clone land in Alabama, so this is a game in Baltimore the Titans have to somehow win. What an awful way this would be to lose their clone power-up if you're the Baltimore Ravens, but Cam Ward goes down for a sack in the first plays on the field in this final 2-minute drive. Keep in mind, Cam Ward's prime is where he's at right now, which is a 72, but he gets a first down just about to his tight end, who stays on his feet, and he's tackled to the 41. I believe that was a Kwanu on the catch. Now we're going a quick slant, which the defender was just completely asleep for that, apparently. Brings him to midfield, toss backwards. Good tackle. It's a loss of a couple. Ravens had to call a timeout, unfortunately, because Roquan Smith went down with an injury. 3rd and 6, and this is a first down into Ravens territory. They got 90 seconds to find the end zone. Yeah, they're still running the football, but it works out well. Tony Pollard to the 33. 60 seconds ago, another first down, somehow holding on to it, and they'll call their second timeout. Will they find the end zone with 1 minute remaining? Someone's wide open, and it's a touchdown for the Titans as they take a lead with 58 seconds. Calvin Ridley left with dead open space in the seam, and the Titans should go up by 3. The Prime Ravens got 54 seconds to start playing like the Prime Ravens. 99 Lamar starts to D-hop, but they stay in the field of play. So there goes their second timeout. Keep in mind, they only had 2 because they had a burn one on the Roquan Smith injury, and there goes their 3rd after throwing a quick slant for whatever reason. Teams have always been bad with time management in this series, but it has been ever so worse today, as at least they get out of bounds here. Gains 5 yards. This goes to DeAndre Hopkins, 99 overall. He breaks the tackle, and he runs all the way to the end zone. That is what I'm talking about. That will take the lead for the Ravens. No response for the Titans. The Ravens steal a heartbreaking one away from the Titans. And as a result, Jeffrey Simmons will be joining the flock. Just to think, if the Titans maybe would have came up with that one, they could have gone on a run, because look at the teams close to them in this area. The Saints, the Panthers, they definitely could have beat them considering the players still they could have got from Baltimore. I also want to mention, look how close both of the Raven empires are to sharing borders. If that ends up happening, which I don't think ever has happened with the clone, then it's just going to be 2 separate areas which are sharing a border for the same team. The Commanders is what stands in the way for the Ravens' 2 empires from touching borders, but even themselves, they have 2 lives as well, just like the Ravens. Now let's go back to Green Bay. Vikings to their left, Colts towards their right, and that could be going to Upper Peninsula, which is under sovereignty by the Indianapolis Colts. Man, they're looking to go 4-0 today, the 4th Colts game, and it's in Indianapolis as well. Despite the offensive firepower that resides in the Indianapolis Colts, the Green Bay Packers defense have done their job, as they've done so well this regular season. It's a shame that their offense can't put up to 20 points in a game, however. 3rd and 3 for Daniel Jones. He stays short, and he gets a first down to the 20. Still a long 80 yards to go. Jonathan Taylor with that catch. Daniel Jones will float this one up, and this is caught by Tyler Warren in midfield. A very contested catch. Now Daniel Jones wants to run, and he actually will pick up 8 yards. Keep in mind, this team has Amon-Ra St. Brown and A.J. Brown, and these are the play calls they're calling. Jonathan Taylor gets it, and Quay Walker takes him down for a loss of a yard. Brings us to the 2-minute warning, so this is probably the final possession of the game. Daniel Jones has a lane. Jones slides to the 37. 90 seconds ago, they need to start passing. There they go. That's a first down, and a timeout call to the 24. This drive started at their own 7-yard line. I'm also kind of surprised I haven't seen Micah Parsons on the field at all. That's a 6-yard gain. I guess they're confident they're going to score a touchdown because they keep on running the football. This is another first down, down to 60 seconds. 2 timeouts left in the 14. Check down. Good block out front of Xavier McKinney. Jonathan Taylor gets bullied down to the first down marker, but timeout's called at the 3-yard line. 38 seconds. They will run. This is not Jonathan Taylor in the game, and they call their final timeout. Interesting. Not a big fan of that play call, but this is a touchdown as the Colts will take the lead with 32 seconds to Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is a pretty important 2-point conversion because Green Bay still has all 3 timeouts. 14-15. Daniel Jones fools the offense and dives in in for the 2-point conversion. So at 27 seconds from the 27-yard line, today is Jordan Love's 27th birthday. Something has to give here. He needs 3 points, and he starts with this for a gain of like 6. Say goodbye to that first timeout. Now we're staying in the flat, and we cannot get out of bounds. My goodness, Matt LaFleur calling awful plays again. This could only mean we're going to see another 50-yard touchdown from Tucker Kraft, right? Well, it is going to Tucker Kraft. He'll gain the first down, but there goes the final timeout. Okay, let's see if they can use those sidelines. They had the right idea, but once again, for the multiple times today, this is just awful. The teams have been awful today in time management. It's normally not this bad, but today it is awful. The Colts will win 17-14. And so thanks to their 4th win today, they will take Micah Parsons lining up next to Myles Garrett. For whatever reason, he didn't play a single snap on that final defensive drive for the Packers. Maybe they're actually going to use him here. An impressive resume so far for the Indianapolis Colts, beating both Ohio teams, the Browns and Bengals, and 2 teams from the NFC North, the Packers and Lions. The Vikings are the only team that stands out of the very stacked NFC North division this year, but let's go to the Denver Broncos. It's such a shame that the Cowboys have been taking all their expansions because it's still a possibility, but it's on the lower side. What do the Broncos do here? They go south. Wow, they would have loved that expansion. It's going into a sea of red taken by the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a hard game, a division game on road to the Arrowhead. Not many points scored in this game, but it's going to require some to win it here. It's tied at 10, 2nd and 10. Bo Nix to Sutton for 3rd and 3. A huge 3rd down conversion up next. Because if they get this, it would pressure the Chiefs to start calling timeouts. They do have the 2-minute warning on their side. Here comes a blitz. Bo Nix goes down. Kansas City also calls a timeout, and it's going to force the Broncos to kick around a 40-yard kick. It's a bad snap, but it's handled well through the uprights. The Broncos lead at the moment. Chiefs have plenty of time to put 3 on the board. Mahomes starts with the first catch to around the 36. CeeDee Lamb with a catch. They get a snap off before the 2-minute warning, and good, because they'll get another 10 yards or so. So now the 2-minute warning at the 46-yard line, where Mahomes is 2 for 2 on this drive, almost 3 for 3, but Rice couldn't hold on. I am proud how well they've been managing the clock so far. Rice gets this one off the screen, and this is a first down, or off the flat, to the 43. Now time is starting to drain, especially if you run the football, but Pacheco will gain 8 yards, so we are in field goal range. Surely a 99 overall Mahomes wants to take a few shots at the end zone. He's picked off. Mahomes is intercepted. He got too gutsy. I guess we should have been running the football in that case and going to overtime, but Dre Greenlaw forces a turnover of the lifetime. All the Broncos got to do is thrust a couple inches to get this first down, and J.K. Dobbins does thrust a couple inches. I really thought this was the episode the Chiefs would win. They have been historically bad in this series, and it doesn't help Mahomes throwing interceptions like that, especially being in his prime too. But anyways, Broncos win 13-10. So a new weapon is on his way to Denver. It's 99 overall Travis Kelce, which Mahomes didn't even use at all. And that sea of red will quickly become the sea of orange. I'm trying so hard to speak it into existence, but Florida has yet to been touched at all. All 3 teams still stand exactly the same, but instead it's the Broncos again. I guess Denver can get an expansion out of the way before we head to Florida. Yeah, I guess they'll just go ahead and take Nebraska. Why not just go ahead and give them a second player from Kansas City? Chris Jones at defensive tackle. Let's see if I spoke it into existence. No, we were close though with Carolina. They're completely engulfed by 3 other teams, so no expansion is possible. It just depends what this arrow is closest to. The Jaguars, the Ravens, or the Commanders. Well, either way, this clips through the banks of Virginia, which is owned by the Washington Commanders. They can't be eliminated because they have the afterlife. So this is a tough game for the Panthers to win in the first place. Also important to mention, if the Panthers somehow win this game, they have double trouble. They would steal 2 really good players from the Commanders who are in their prime. They start with the first down to the rookie Ted McMillan. Keep in mind on defense for the Commanders, 2 99s, Von Miller and Bobby Wagner. And here's a quick slant for a gain at 4. 60 yards to go, Bryce Young all by himself there and quickly going down for a loss of 6 yards. It's 3rd and 12. There's really high stakes for both teams depending on wins, because now if the Commanders win this game, they take down the Panthers and they get double trouble. They have 2 really good power-ups. If so, they just got to hold on. This is going to be a check down, which will gain a first down after a nasty juke and crosses midfield. I believe that was Bijan Robinson wearing Tyler Allgeier's number. I guess that's what it takes to actually use him, to wear his number. 2nd down and 10 from the 47. This is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning after the conclusion of this play, which is a wide open catch, I believe, by Chuba Hubbard in the red zone. Back in the game is Bijan Robinson. It's at the 18. This is a quick slant reaching for the first down to the 8-yard line, 1st and goal. They call their first timeout. Bijan Robinson gets the handoff. He's met instantly, and this goes nowhere. 4th down territory, of course, and a flag on Xavier Legette. Could this be pass interference or defensive holding? Yeah, it's pass interference. The ball's getting spotted at the half-yard line. Marshawn Lattimore committed the penalty, the 92 overall. Now Bijan Robinson gets a handoff at the 1. He dives in, and that's 6 for the Panthers. Extra point will tie at 28. Oh, the extra point was blocked. Oh my goodness. Washington blocks the extra point, and the Commanders stay down by a point. It's now going to force Carolina to kick a onside kick, which is easily scooped up by the Commanders, going well over past 10 yards. And all of a sudden, overtime does not seem like an option. Jaden Daniels just needs one first down. Puka Nacua spins out of this. Puka Nacua reaches for it. Game is over. A clutch blocked extra point. The Commanders will win by 1. So, playing for his third team today, Bijan Robinson now the #1 option in the running back room. And with this win, Washington now takes control of the Carolinas and Georgia, and also the double triple power-up, holding 2 of the most powerful power-ups in the series. And they're all that stands in the way from the Ravens from connecting their land areas, if they can somehow beat them twice. Turn number 16 as we approach the midway mark of this episode, as we'll go to the Buffalo Bills. They have 2 options, an arrow to the Steelers or an arrow to the Jets, and they'll be taking the tougher of the 2 matchups as they are going on the road to play Prime Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Been a couple of weird scores today. This one included Rodgers needs the first down to extend the drive. Rodgers wants to run and he gets 3. It's 4th and 5 from the 30. This is gutsy. They're not going to rely on the Steelers defense. They got to pick this one up. 4th and 5 from the 30, staying short. It's a first down to the 20. Saquon Barkley extends the drive. Now they're looking to win the game rather than put a field goal. I guess that was the right decision. Rodgers from the 16, passing again just before the 2-minute warning. He's going to escape the pocket, throws on the run, intercepted in the end zone. Never mind, it did not work out. It's essentially like they failed that 4th down and 5 play, but with 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, maybe Pittsburgh can get this ball back. James Cook has been one of the best rushers in the league so far this season, and he will gain around 7 yards. They can only give up 1 first down. They would prefer not to. Good tackle by Cameron Hayward. First timeout's called. It's 3rd and 6. It's an empty set for Josh Allen, so they're going to pass the football. All right, let's see if they can pick up 6 yards. Josh Allen contested and incomplete. Pass deflection is made. It's 4th and 6. Now they got a punt. Rodgers is gifted another chance. What is this play call? I mean, he's in his prime, but he never ran that in his prime. I didn't change his age either, so they got a 41-year-old man doing wildcat formation. 2nd and 11. This is more like the skill level of Rodgers to be doing as DK Metcalf gets to the 45 in Buffalo's territory. Why didn't we just start with that? Rodgers to throw. He's going to stay in the short flat and gets the first down, trying to spin move, but tackled inbounds for the first down at least. Would have been better to step out of bounds with 45 seconds now. Rodgers, good completion, can't get out of bounds again, so time is still rolling. We're down to 20 seconds. They're running the football. What are we doing? They called their final timeout. These play calls today have been atrocious. I mean, now if they get tackled inbounds, that essentially ends the game, but DK Metcalf comes up with a 2. Do they get one more playoff? It's 1st and goal, the 2. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. They're over there celebrating on the sideline. 2 seconds. Rodgers is too slow. I guess I could have changed his age because he needed to get there quicker, man. Oh my goodness. I can't stand this. Why does this keep happening? You know what would have been nice? If they had a timeout to use. I wonder if they ran the football the play before that. But anyways, I mean, I guess the Bills are going to pull off a huge upset, which it really is on paper. And they're going to take Jalen Ramsey, the 99 overall cornerback. We'll just add that to the long list of teams today that have lost with offensive possession because the clock ran out of time, as the best quarterback today, gone. So, that brings us to the halfway mark of today's episode with 16 remaining teams. I believe this is the first ever episode in this series where we've made it to the halfway mark and all 3 Florida teams are still here. The Jaguars, Buccaneers, Dolphins yet to do anything. And on top of that, we've seen some really great upsets so far. The Kansas City Chiefs no longer. The Steelers just lost. We're going to see a lot more as we approach 1 single team remaining. Let's start the second half on the turn number 17 with the Minnesota Vikings. Their last appearance was the expansion to South Dakota for the Rewind power-up, and their current appearance will result in another expansion, this time to Iowa. Although I did give them Dalvin Cook earlier, I can't pass on giving them Saquon Barkley as their new #1 running back. They'll be gearing up to play either the Broncos or Colts, as both those teams are currently sharing borders with them. And I was about to say we made it to Florida, but instead we're going to Arizona. Not expecting much out of the Arizona Cardinals today. They will travel west, resulting in the Las Vegas Raiders getting yet another home game. Have they played a game on the road today? I don't even think so. They've already taken down all of California. Can they do the same to Arizona? This is surely unexpected. Trailing by a point, CMC takes the handoff, and they're at the 14-yard line with 6 minutes remaining. I expect them to take the lead just by how much Devontae Adams gets leveled. It's 3rd and 12. At this moment, it's looking like a field goal is the most viable option, especially if we throw that short of the markers, only gaining 2. The Raiders, I think that's a loss. I mean, you're not really gaining much out of that. 2-point lead with 5 minutes remaining. Well, Carlson will come out to kick this field goal up and good. We'll see how the Raiders can do with 5 minutes down by 2. Or the Cardinals, I mean. Raiders are stacking the line on 3rd down and 1. Do they get this back? back. Kyler Murray with a sneak. It's 4th and inches. Unreal. They're punting the football. I would definitely be going for this, so they're going to depend on their defense. They're already trailing by 2 points. Geno Smith, let's see what he can do. He starts at Davante Adams with a completion to the 43. All of a sudden, them punting on 4th and inches was really not looking like the correct call. CMC has blockers. CMC towards the outside. CMC for the first down. Timeouts are starting to be called. CMC, no. It's play action. Geno Smith throws it up to Davante Adams, who is open by like 5 steps. It's a touchdown for the Raiders. Overkill, if you ask me. The Raiders get their 4th victory today, winning 26-17. It's crazy how an episode about Prime, the Raiders and Colts are the best 2 teams. So as a result, the Raiders will be stealing Calais Campbell in his 17th year to his prime overall at 95. I'm still scratching my head about that 4th and inches call to punt. I mean, we've seen so many questionable coaching calls today. I made this episode today for teams like the Steelers and the Chiefs, but instead I have to deal with the successful upbringings of teams like the Colts and Raiders, out of all teams in their prime. Anyways, let's go to Seattle, who could very well be the 5th team today to go on the road and play in Vegas. Yeah, I think so. The Raiders already completed the California Gauntlet. Now they're about to do something even more special. Let's call it the West Coast Gauntlet. They take on the final team representing the West Coast, the Seahawks, and it's at Vegas again. I guess you could call this the Geno Smith revenge game, or in Geno's words, they wrote me off, I didn't write back, but he's gonna need a 3rd down and 17 if he wants anybody to write him back. Brock Bowers might just do it for him. Brock Bowers' run after the catch is a 1st down to the 44. The amount of playmakers on this Raiders offense is crazy, but they're not through yet. They go to the CMC, no, they're staying in the air. Brock Bowers again, he runs into his own teammate, and that really would have been a 1st down if he didn't. 2nd and 7, staying through the air, getting it off just before the sack, and it's a overthrown football intended for Brock Bowers again to make it 3rd and 7. He's got other targets, you know. Davante Adams, CMC, where are they at? Geno Smith will stay short. There's somebody else. Jacoby Myers holds on to it. 1st down to the 44. Seattle might need to start calling timeouts. Ashton Jeanty goes right down the middle and runs for 9. That hurts. That makes getting a 1st down very easy, as CMC just easily punches it through, and the Seattle is down to 1 timeout. If they can get one more 1st down, this game should be over. Brock Bowers does it again. Brock Bowers once more. Brock Bowers gets 6. Yet another game where the Raiders will run away with it late as they beat the Seattle Seahawks 31-21. The players still for the Raiders will assemble the White Avengers. We got Cooper Kupp at receiver. Don't forget about CMC at running back, and the greatest tight end right now is Brock Bowers. I mean, come on now. So the Raiders have officially done it. The West Coast Gauntlet, as they're currently 5-0, and they still share a border with a power-up. Man, Geno Smith really isn't riding back. I wonder if he was, would he be riding about the double-digit interceptions he's thrown this year? Let's go to Denver, because we obviously haven't had enough of teams out here in the West Coast. They will travel east, though. The way this team looks at expansions is the way William Dafoe looks at the Green Goblin mask in the corner of his room, but I guess they'll get their 3rd today, I believe. So they're going to pick up Jahmyr Gibbs, who just departed from Seattle. The 35th all-time expansion for the Denver Broncos. Finally, Florida has been called. It only took 19 turns. I don't know how much of a chance this team from Florida has, however, as they have the Commanders above them and the Buccaneers down them. Of course, this is the Jaguars we're talking about. That's closer to the Buccaneers. So our first Florida battle today, as we had the Raymond James Stadium for the Buccaneers and Jaguars. If you're a fan of this series, you know history has never been on the side for the Buccaneers. They need it now, as Bucky Irving runs right in the end zone for 6. They need a 2-point conversion, however, to tie this at 21. Even if they can't convert, there's still 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Mayfield stays in the flat. Bucky Irving spin moves in. He might have been tackled short if he didn't do that right there. So it's tied at 21. Here's a chance for the Buccaneers to get the football back, as the Jacksonville Jaguars are the 47. 3rd down and 8. Trevor Lawrence going deep down the field. Brian Thomas can't hold on. It's 4th and 8. After Jaguars punt, Mayfield back on the field from the 20. He will start with a short curl to Bucky Irving, who's been involved in all plays I've seen so far for a 1st down. Before the 2-minute warning, we have a slant to Chris Godwin for a gain of 9 yards. That brings us to the 39, where Mayfield's going to run for the 1st down, and he gets driven down to the 43. I'd say about 25 more yards to get in field goal range, and there it is to Mike Evans in his prime as he gets to the 41. Just don't chug this away like Mahomes did. No interceptions. There we go. Now we're in range, and the Jaguars calling timeouts. Bucky Irving back on the football, and he gets a 1st down, or just about. Hopefully the Buccaneers don't choke this like what Mahomes did, almost throwing an interception. That's just what I was about to say. Can't do that. Just kick the field goal. This to make it 24-21. It is good with 40 seconds seconds remaining, and the Buccaneers would close out, so they actually do get a win today. I guess history can be on their side. They close it out. It's 24-21. So the Buccaneers will steal Josh Hines Allen, whose highest Madden rating was a 91. That's a big win for the Buccaneers, but they move up to uncharted territory, now sharing a border with the Ravens and Commanders. Yikes. You would think with how many teams are remaining on the map that we would at least land on the Saints once, who have 3 entries, but you would think wrong. Instead, we have to land on the Denver Broncos, the Colts, and the Raiders 500,000 times. So let's see if maybe the Saints get landed on. They were close, but instead it's a team we haven't seen much from, the New England Patriots. I guess I got what I wanted, which was a breath of fresh air. We haven't been in this area of the map in quite some time, and they will travel west. That was a very close arrow to Vermont, which would have got the Patriots the bandit power, but instead they have to play the New York Jets, which honestly, win-win scenario. To the surprise of absolutely no one, the Jets will lose this game 27-3, but hey, at least they look cool in their brand new NFL rivalry uniform shown here. Y'all don't think I've done enough scripting in this video, right? Yeah, okay, good. Guess who? Stephon Gilmore going to the Patriots. So the tri-state area is now under control of the New England Patriots, who now share a border with the Buffalo Bills, who they did beat head-to-head in the regular season. Maybe the true meaning of the Clover power-up was the friends we made along the way. Next up, to turn 21, I believe, the Patriots go back-to-back. Maybe this time they will expand and get the Bandit power-up, and they will travel south. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's an expansion to Rhode Island. Number 1, I'm lazy to draw a line. Number 2, it's pissing me off. That's a little white dot right there. Let's just give them the expansion. Please, it's okay. So they'll trade in Rhode Island for TJ Watt. I think that's a pretty respectable trade. And so back to the wheel we go, where we finally, after all this time, land on one of the Clover entries. It's the New Orleans Saints. Too bad they're gonna get absolutely steamrolled depending on who this lands on. You know what? That was the best out of the 3 options. Maybe they have a chance. The Saints will travel to Houston. This is just about what I expected out of a matchup between the Saints and the Texans. But hey, at least the uniform matchup's pretty cool. Tyler Show is the quarterback for this team. An inaccurate pass and a screen only gains a couple. 7 minutes to go, and down goes Shao. He also fumbles, and offensive lineman picks it up. Here's his run back, and that's a loss of 10 yards. 3rd and 16. This is ugly. No way he converts this. 3rd and 16. This time he goes down for a sack, but at least he holds on to the football. There's a positive. So after punting on 4th and 25, here comes the Texans drive. Can the Saints get this back? It's 3rd down and 9. CJ Stroud is going to float one up and out of the play, but there's a flag. I guess it's pass interference. That looked a little too high. I don't know if that was a catchable football. Maybe he could make a play, but I mean, 1st and goal at the 3. I don't normally complain about the penalties that the CPU is gonna call, so that's interesting. I mean, they could try to make a goal line stand. They called a timeout, 2nd and goal at the 4. This is a handoff. It's gonna be 3rd and goal. Last chance for New Orleans to keep this a 1-score game, and it looks like they will. Demario Davis with a huge hit on Nick Chubb. It's 4th and goal at the 1. Could they go for this? Yes, they will. I believe this is the correct call. Keep in mind, Nick Chubb is a 97 overall thanks to his prime in Cleveland. 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. What will they do? Will they even get the snap off? Yes, they will. 2 seconds. Delayed handoff. Chubb is in the end zone. It's a 2-score game. The Saints almost came up with that goal line stop, but unfortunately the game will end there. 17-7, the Texans will win. So the Texans will tag along Lane Johnson at right tackle. But that's not all, because they'll also tag along the Clover power-up, which could mean they probably don't get landed on for another 10 turns. So now you can see the Texans have 3 separate entries to get landed on. That's if they get landed on at all. And we'll spin again, and okay, I guess the Clover is starting to work now. We just had to shift the management. So the Texans are up again. In this particular instance, this does not help the Texans whatsoever. They're going right up north to play the Denver Broncos, and at the conclusion of this game will bring us to the top 10. Although the Texans are proving they can compete with the big dogs, they have a 4-point lead over the Denver Broncos at the moment. Jahmyr Gibbs with that handoff at 2nd and 3 from the 24. Bo Nix will scramble out, and he gets to the outside edge, and he runs and he dives heads first to the 33. 4 minutes to find the end zone. Another handoff, and this one brings us to the 42. Down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The pocket's collapsing and almost a fumble. Thankfully, it's an incomplete pass. On the right side, that stops the clock. 3rd and 2. Here comes the Texans. Bo Nix runs out of it. He picks up another 1st down his legs, gets a block, crosses midfield. 3:19 to go. Bo Nix has a clutch few completions with his legs. This one is a completion through the air for another 1st down. Just before we reach the 2-minute warning, it's 2nd and 11. Stepping into this one, Bo Nix delivers a strike. Bo Nix has a touchdown for the Denver Broncos. Troy Franklin on the reception, and that's going to put the Broncos up by 3. A lot of time left. At the 2-minute warning, 2nd and 8. CJ Stroud gets a wobbly pass off, incomplete for 3rd and 8. Will they get the 1st down conversion? Dalton Schultz will be short of the markers. It's 4th and 1. Will the Broncos stat the line? No, it's not going to be a run, but instead it works out. Dalton Schultz gets it again, and this time he will get the 1st down. Well, they were that close to ending the game right here. Now Nico Collins breaks through for a 1st down in the midfield. 1st timeout has been called, needing 15 more yards or so to get in field goal range. Dalton Schultz involved again. This time he gets a 1st down as well. Minute and 16 for rush for the Broncos. as we are staying a lot on the outside of these sidelines. You know what? I can't complain. 2nd and 5 from the 35. It's a handoff. It's a first down. It could be more inside the red zone to the 19. Mahomes was in this situation earlier. He got too greedy, and overtime did not end up happening. So let's see what happens here. They need at least 3. They'll get a first down, and they're going to say their final timeout. I guess we might go to overtime. Looks like they'll have one more offensive play. Has to be in the end zone. Nico Collins steps out of bounds to the 1-yard line. Okay, so they have to run a play, though, to win the game. 2nd and 1 in the end zone. Touchdown for the Houston Texans with 12 seconds remaining. Woody Marks, the backup running back, gets the Texans up by 4. And that's how the Texans will join the top 10, taking down a Goliath of a team, the Denver Broncos. And seeing how much CJ Stroud relied on Dalton Schultz that drive, they're going to love Travis Kelce. And a huge map change will require me to zoom all the way out as down goes the Broncos empire, and the Texans will take control of a large chunk of the United States. I gotta say, I'm decently satisfied with this top 10. These teams mostly deserve to be here, other than the Vikings and the Dolphins, the only 2 teams who have yet to play a game. The Dolphins have yet to do anything. Besides the Raiders and the Colts being the front runners today, the Ravens and Commanders are very stacked, and both of them are still holding on to both of their lives as we've reached the top 10. Time to narrow this thing down. Keep in mind, there's still 3 power-ups that have not been claimed as we approach turn number 23. Will they? I'm not too sure. The Buffalo Bills are next. I believe they got 2 wins under their belt in today's episode, looking for a 3rd as they travel east. Well, that goes right into New Jersey, so that's going to give me the long-awaited Bills versus Patriots matchup that I've been waiting for in New England as well. We haven't seen an overtime game in quite some time, but it makes total sense between these 2 teams. Tied up at 20. First possession for the Buffalo Bills. 2nd and 7. James Cook only gets a yard. This is a crucial 3rd down. Don't think you want to go 3 and out in overtime. Josh Allen scanning the field. 3rd and 6. He gets a completion, but well short. It's 4th and 3, and they got a punt. All it takes is Drake May to put points on this board. This sails in the end zone. They will take over at the 20. Drake May starts with a George Kittle completion. Who is this? I don't even know who that is. Yeah, it's George Kittle. I don't even remember adding him to this team, but he's definitely helping, and that should have been a pick 6, but no, dropped. I believe that was Matt Milano who has hands on it, but couldn't seal the deal. And now we'll get George Kittle involved again, making up for 1st down and 10 after that near pick 6 and to the 42. All they need is the field goal. They're getting dangerously close, staying through the air, and incomplete. You hold on to that. That might be game. If they decide to run the football, yes, they will. Ramondre Stevenson will gain about 5 or 6 yards, so it's 3rd and 5 from the 37. Could be around a 50-yard kick from this distance. They might want to get this 1st down. Drake May, why do they always do this? To the end zone, overthrows his target. It's 4th and 5 from the 37. Wow, okay. This is definitely a temptable kick from that distance. That would have been around a 53, 54-yard kick, but they're going to decide the punt. I mean, they will down the Bills at the 12, but Josh Allen, he puts points on the board. This game's over. I don't like that decision whatsoever. Josh Allen's going to make him pay. He already starts with the 1st down to the 26, thanks to Shakir. I mean, come on now. We're seeing NFL kickers kick field goals like 65 yards. Look at this handoff to the 50. Just got to be 1 Patriot to the 40, tackled in field goal range. And Davis will keep on running it down their throats. Another 1st down to the 19, making this kick really easy for Tyler Bass. Or my fault, actually, Matt Prater, considering he's on injury reserve. Slow motion through the uprights. The Bills win 23-20 and left me just wondering why the Patriots did not at least attempt that kick in overtime. So the Bills move up to 3-0 today, and they desperately need some offensive targets. George Kittle would join the tight end group. And so the Bills take command of the northeast of the United States of America. Their next game likely against the Baltimore Ravens. Turn 24 with 9 remaining teams. We are going to the Miami Dolphins the first time today. Well, there's one way out for the Miami Dolphins as always in this series, and they have to go up north in their own state to claim the entirety of Florida if they can beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road. The Miami Dolphins are showing some fight considering that Tua is in his prime, also Tyreek Hill, but there is a flag on this play. That hurts. Offensive holding. It negates a 1st down pickup on Tua. It makes it 2nd down and 21. Keep in mind, in Tua's prime, his best overall was 88 overall, which is a lot better than he currently is in real life. And Tyreek Hill is also a 99. This is a screen to Jalen Waddle, which gains all those yards back. It's 3rd and 10. Miami really could have been a contender today if they got going early, but that just did not happen. 3rd and 10. Tua left-handed throw, of course, and it's out of bounds for a gain of 6 of the 40. It's 4th down. I don't like this decision whatsoever. Another bad coaching call, if you ask me, as they punt the football away to Tampa Bay, and it goes in the end zone. Baker Mayfield currently in the height of his career from the 20-yard line. Quick slant to Mike Evans, gains around 4. 2nd and 6. Baker Mayfield is going to stay short again, and this is tackled before the markers. It's 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. Will Miami get this football back? And met just at the line. Miami calls a timeout. It's 4th and 1. Miami gets a second shot back out there with 2 minutes minutes and 30 seconds. Tua, the Tyreek Hill, the 99 overall, as he's breaking tackles to the 35. Again, the Tyreek Hill, he can't break this tackle, but he gets a first down to the 18 just past the 2-minute warning. 90 seconds ago, they're going to run the football, which is weird because they need to find the end zone. I guess it works there. Good offensive blocks, and they're in the end zone to tie the game at 24. Jalen Wright somehow gets out of this, and there was just green grass ahead of him once he got past the mess. And that Jalen Wright rushing touchdown would bring us to overtime, where the Miami Dolphins have to convert this. 3rd down and 11 from their own 24. Tyreek Hill was in motion. It's an empty set for Tua. He is going to go to his tight end, who only gains 7 yards, well short, and they got a punt in the first possession of overtime. All the Buccaneers need is a field goal, and Bucky Irving's already running for a first down to the 39. Again, Bucky Irving gets his number called. He runs for another first down, a huge collision at midfield. 3rd down and 8. Will they get a conversion? Yes, they will. Their tight end's open. I believe it's Cade Otton to the 22. And after getting to the 13-yard line, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will attempt about a 30-yard game-winning kick, which we haven't seen much of today, but it's slow motion and it's good, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will take control of Florida. Unfortunately for Tampa Bay, Tyreek Hill is on injury reserve, so I can't move him, but they will take Mika Fitzpatrick to add to their already stacked secondary. So shout out to our 2 Pirate-themed teams today, as the Raiders were the first team to do the California Gauntlet, the Buccaneers the first team today to do the Florida Gauntlet. Turn 25, there are 10 injuries left on the wheel, 3 of them owned by the same team. Is it going to land on one of them? Well, yeah, I mean, it had a pretty high chance to do just that. The Houston Texans now dominate the central part of the United States of America ever since beating the Denver Broncos, so they have a lot of ways they can go from their current land area. And no better place they could have gone than getting this expansion to Utah to finally claim the Evolved Power-Up. A very lucky spin for them, and they're going to get a really good power-up where the bottom 2 players will turn into the best overall of their best player. First off, for their players still, they're going to take Patrick Surtain, who will join Derek Stingley as both X-Factor cornerbacks. Now for the Evolved Power-Up, we can see their best player is Travis Kelce, who has a 99 overall. So when I sort this by the worst overall, these 2 players are becoming a 99. Graham Mertz, the quarterback, and Jake Henson, the will linebacker. A huge power-up because now the best quarterback in the video is rookie out of Florida, Graham Mertz. And Jake Henson will also be taking Henry To'oTo'o's job as the best will linebacker in this group by a mile. All of a sudden, the Texans are a huge threat, and I really don't know who is the front runner of this episode. The Raiders are definitely one of them. Chances are the Raiders have to play the Texans as well, which would be their first road game today. A lot of land up for grabs in this battle between the Raiders and Texans. From Mississippi to California, we will head to Houston. Here is Graham Mertz, the newly evolved 99 overall quarterback for the Houston Texans, as he hands it off the 97 overall Nick Chubb. They got just north of 2 minutes to find the end zone. Graham Mertz in play action, and somehow breaking out of this, Christian Kirk just gets a first down for the Houston Texans to the 45. Really should have been a loss of a couple, but instead it's a first down. Nick Chubb barrels forward for no gain. 2-minute warning. Graham Mertz shovel passes it right in Max Crosby's face, and he doesn't pick it off. Quite the decision there. It's 3rd down and 9. Pump fake. Graham Mertz from the 40. Graham Mertz delivers a dot to Nico Collins to the 15-yard line, out of bounds of the 14. All of a sudden, it's 3rd down and 9 for the Texans, and never mind, it's a first down. No, it's fumbled right in the hands of a Raiders defender at the 1-yard line. Essentially an interception. Jeremy Chin pops it out. It just goes right in his hands. No, Jeremy Chin caused the fumble. Somebody else picked it up. I don't even know if that hit the ground. It really should have been an interception, but now the Raiders at the 1-yard line with CMC can't get tackled in the end zone. He breaks out of it. Breathing room, a gain of 9. They just need to pick up this first down. Ashton Genty in the game. He can. He breaks the tackle. First down Raiders. They're going to go to 6-0. An unbelievable run by the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they'll be talking about Graham Mertz forever. What a run he had. He lasted half a turn, essentially. So Patrick Surtain couldn't even unpack his bags and get settled in Houston before he's going to send off to Vegas. I believe that was Christian Kirk who just fumbled away at the 1-yard line. Man, if you would have held on to that, the Texans probably would have won that game. Instead, the Raiders, a huge gray void, taking over the United States of America. It now also means the Raiders take over the Clover power-up, which honestly I think in future episodes might need a little bit of tweaking. I don't like how in the in-game that essentially they take it over and it's a disadvantage for them to be landed on more frequently. Anyways, we have 7 remaining teams, and the Bills is next. There's a slim chance of a power-up, but more than likely this is a matchup with the Ravens. This was a lot closer than I thought, as they almost went to Delaware to get fast forward, which I'm very disappointed we haven't seen it today, but instead it's going to go through the top of Maryland, giving us the Bills versus the Ravens in Baltimore. Josh Allen trails by 5 points with 5 minutes. He throws this one up without without even stepping into it, and it's incomplete. 5 minutes ago, James Cook gets the handoff. They're going to set up a third down. 3rd and 4 from the 36. James Cook was almost met instantly by Roquan Smith, but he still doesn't make it to the markers. It's 4th and 4. Decision time. Considering they are in their own territory, this is the right decision to punt. They got to stop Lamar, however. Starting from their own 20, Derrick Henry gets the handoff, and that's short gain. 2nd on Lamar to pass this time. Lamar is tripped up. It's 3rd and 16. Defense can't choke away this one. It's 3rd and 16 from the 14. Lamar Jackson, he's just going to get some yards back. He actually gets closer than I thought he would, and the Bills will call a timeout. It's 4th and 5. Second chance for Josh Allen. We are going to George Kittle. No gain. 2nd and 10. James Cook in the flat. Why are we still throwing flat routes? It's 3rd and 10. Josh Allen actually throws something down the field, and whoa, you guessed it. It's actually going to work. Much better than just throwing flat routes, and this is another completion down the seam to the 16. Shakir on the reception for both of those. This time to Coleman, who gets leveled at the first down. Just before, however, 60 seconds, James Cook wants to fight for it, and he loses a yard. There's only 40 seconds left in this game. Bootleg, it's a throw, it's a touchdown for the Bills. They'll take the lead with 39 seconds. Elijah Moore on the touchdown reception, now to go for 2 to make it a 3-point game. Quick pass, easy. Coleman with it. No response from the Ravens. A beautiful game-winning drive for the Buffalo Bills, but the Ravens are not eliminated. The Bills, of course, will steal a player, a much-needed one as well. DeAndre Hopkins, 99 overall in the receiving room. So if we look back at the map, we will see the Bills will take over the Baltimore Ravens' first land with West Virginia and Maryland. And now the Ravens' main land area was the Clone Land area, which they'll attack from, which was located in Alabama. So no teams eliminated in turn 26 as we go to turn number 27, landing on the Vikings. The only team today to yet to play a single game. And that's going to stay like that for the meanwhile as they get another expansion heading west into North Dakota. He's been on the move a lot today, but it's hard to pass up on a 99 overall X-Factor receiver such as Travis Kelce. Realistically speaking, there is a chance the Vikings win 1 or 2 games this video, and that would be it, and they could win the episode. I mean, we'll see if that happens. They're going again. They would just have to be straight up lucky to get another expansion here. The only one left is Montana, and that's not going there. As they travel south, they are going to take on the Las Vegas Raiders in the Death Star. The Raiders' 7th game today. They're currently 6-0. Will they make it 7? The Vikings are getting ready to kick around a 30-yard field goal to go up by 6 points. A high snap, handled well, and it's good. Keep in mind, I wouldn't even call this an upset. What are the players the Vikings have? Fran Tarkenton is their quarterback, Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, just to name a few. This team is good. Geno Smith has been something this episode. He needs to prove it here. Down by 6. Davante Adams steps out for a 7-yard gain. Besides Davante Adams, they got the greatest wide trio of all time, CMC in motion, Brock Bowers, and Cooper Kupp. Empty set, 3rd and 3. There's one of them. Brock Bowers, the first down. Brock Bowers to the 43. 2:30, Geno Smith winds up. There's Cooper Kupp, I believe. I can't tell. They all look the same. I'm judging based off the color of their sleeves, unless Davante Adams is wearing white sleeves for whatever reason. Or color arms, what I meant to say, but who cares? We broke that barrier years ago. Geno Smith, a very contested throw. Is that Genty? No, that's Davante Adams. What was that? It's now 3rd down and 9 from the 43. Davante Adams, no, Jacoby Myers, another dude with dreads. That's a first down to the 23. Just great. I can't tell which white person's which, and I can't tell which person who has dreads is which as well. Geno Smith steps in this throw, and Davante Adams can't come down with it. Something about this team is making me want to get canceled so bad. I don't even know who this one is. It's got dreads as well. Or he. I don't know why'd you call him it. I better just stop talking and let this one simulate itself. This goes to Cooper Kupp. First down to the 12. There's 50 seconds remaining in this game. Make that 35 seconds. CMC gets the handoff. He does push forward to the 9. The Raiders call their final timeout with 32 seconds. Little confusing. 32 seconds. There's a flag. Oh, this could be pass interference against Jacoby Myers. Putting the ball at the 1-yard line, a huge penalty. Jeff Okudah with the penalty. Keep in mind, guess who's the coach of this team? The same coach of the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl, but it doesn't matter because they actually do run the football. Geno Smith has the equalizing touchdown. Pete Carroll drew up a pass. Good thing Geno decided to run. This to take the lead, 24-23 with 26 seconds remaining. No field goal range in sight for the Vikings. The Raiders get their 7th win today. It's not like the Raiders even needed Justin Jefferson in the first place, but let's just add him to a already super stacked receiving room. It's unfortunate because the Vikings were actually a really good team today. They had Harrison Smith, Fran Tarkenton, Saquon Barkley was on their team as well. Forgot about him. Travis Kelce, Randy Moss. It was insane. It's just so unfortunate that they couldn't even play a game to begin with. So, on to turn number 28 with 6 remaining teams as we will head to Tampa. Since they control all of Florida, they kind of have a weird direction to attack from with 2 teams in the way. They have the Commanders this way and the Ravens this way. It just depends what it's closest to. So, it doesn't matter which way this arrow points, just whatever it's closest to. That might be closer to the Ravens. Well, actually, just going straight from their logo, it goes into Georgia anyways, so that's going to be against the Commanders, who have been holding on to the afterlife in double trouble for like the entirety of this episode. The Buccaneers going on the road. Very important play here for the Commanders, who do have the afterlife, but they want to keep it. 4th and goal from the 5. 3 minutes remaining. Jaden Daniels, is he going to run? Jaden Daniels somehow squeezes through this, but he can't get past the spy. It's 1st and 10. Turnover and down to the Buccaneers. Now let's see if Tampa Bay can drain out the entirety of the clock, and they are only gaining a yard here. This is uncharted territory for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have never won more than 2 games in an episode. Let's see if they can do that here. Handoff the Bucky Irving, who's been really good today. He runs for a first down. The Commanders call a timeout. Not in the clear yet, but they could be if they get one more first down, and Bucky Irving jumps forward for 5. Can they convert this first down to win this game? 3rd and 6. Yes, they will. Open receiver. It's 1st down and 10. And just like that, both the Commanders and Ravens have lost their double life. The Buccaneers get their 3rd win today. So the Buccaneers are going to take one of their prime 99s. Bobby Wagner is joining Tampa Bay's defense. And no territorial change in this turn. The only thing that will happen is the afterlife is now gone. It's every team for themselves with 1 life. No advantages left. You either win or you are out. As we are on turn 29, I believe. The Raiders have a high chance to get landed on, so here they are. They control essentially everything west of the Mississippi, so they only really can take an arrow that points towards the East Coast. Like, that's not going to work. Wait, this one might, however. I did say they essentially own everything west of the Mississippi. Well, now they do. They got an expansion to the final expansion over here. It's Montana. They already just added Patrick Surtain. Now they're going to add Stephon Gilmore. Insane. It's not like this team really needs any more players, but here we are as we are going to the Colts. I've lost track of how many games this team has won. It's either 4 or 5. They're looking for another one as they travel south. And this goes right into Tennessee, owned by the Baltimore Ravens. This is their final life in the Clone area, and it's going to be played in Baltimore, even though they don't even have control of it anymore. With 50 seconds to go, the Colts have 4 tries to find the end zone. From the 6, Daniel Jones will start with a pass, and this is probably going outside the end zone. No, it stays in play. Almost caught, actually. It's 2nd and goal. Almost caught by Amon-Ra St. Brown. 2nd and goal. This time to Josh Downs for the touchdown. An extra point ties us up. Now in overtime, the Colts get first possession. It's 3rd down and 4 from the 36, and there goes Daniel Jones. Kyle Hamilton comes in on a blitz. It's 4th and 11. Can they kick a field goal from this distance? It would have been over 55 yards, so instead they want a punt, which is going to go out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Oh, what a punt. Keep in mind, a safety would end the game, so they go to their fullback, and that's not going to happen anymore. Gain of 6. This is going to be a pass, a screen, which works to Zay Flowers. He gets the first down. From the 13, Lamar Jackson. This is another first down to the tight end, Isaiah Likely. Lamar Jackson's going to run now, and another first down is picked up off the ground to the 43. Getting closer and closer to field goal range, this Colts defense needs to come up with something. Lamar Jackson has great protection, so he can step into a throw, and someone is wide open in field goal range. It's Mark Andrews in his prime. They're going to keep on passing. They might as well just score a touchdown this rate. Bateman inside the 10-yard line. As long as the Ravens don't turn over the football, Lamar Jackson on a keeper has a walk-off touchdown to send the Ravens to the top 5 in Prime Imperialism. Final score 23-17, but what a really good run by the Colts today. And the Ravens will steal a replacement for losing DeAndre Hopkins. Another 99 receiver this time is Jamar Chase. So the Raiders now own kind of a weird land area. They're going to blockade the Raiders from the remaining other teams, and they have land from the Gulf Coast to the Great Lakes. So here are the top 5 teams today. The Colts deserve to be here, but they just missed the cut. Instead, it's the Raiders, the Ravens, the Bills, the Commanders, and the sneaky Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Florida. I'm glad to say that all the 5 remaining teams have at least done a lot today. Usually when you get to this point, there's always one team that like does nothing the entire episode and then make it to the top 5 for free, but all these teams definitely deserve to be here. The final 5 plus 2 more Raiders as we are on turn 30, I believe. Here's the Ravens again. Anything west, we know who that's attacking. Anything east, it's a toss-up between the Commanders and Bills. Well, it's west. Game number 8 for the Vegas Empire, which at times today have looked absolutely unkillable, especially when they get yet another home game in Las Vegas. Captain Clutch Geno Smith needs to come up with another touchdown again as he trails by 6 points, and Devontae Adams to the 40. At the 2-minute warning, this one goes to Brock Bowers, who will cross midfield. 1:30 remaining, and Cooper Kupp has a step to the 23-yard line in Ravens territory. It's just rinse and repeat for the Raiders. They go to Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, Cooper Kupp, and then every now and then they go to Jacoby Myers as well. That's the shortest completion of the drive, bringing us down to 45 seconds. Ashton Genty is going to run, and it's 3rd and 1. Even worse, they had their pass deflected on 3rd and 1, so it's 4th and 1. This could be it for the Raiders. Geno Smith, why is he the one running? Vanoy is home, and it's a turnover on downs. That could be it for the Raiders. You had CMC right there as Lamar Jackson goes down on a knee, and the Raiders' run comes to an end. Baltimore gets it done 20-14. They're about to take over a lot of land. So what a rebound for the Ravens after losing D-Hop. They replaced them with 2 99s now. Devontae Adams will join Jamar Chase in Baltimore. Yeah, I gotta zoom all the way out for this one as the Ravens take control of everything west of the Mississippi, and it's down to 4 teams. teams. The wheel now has a 50% chance to land on the Clover team, which is the Baltimore Ravens, after beating the Raiders. So let's see if the 50% works. It does not. We're going to Washington. But there's still a high chance that the Ravens are involved in this next game, as the Commanders will spin and they will attack northeast. I think this is the Bills. And that's exactly the case. They're going to attack over the Chesapeake Bay, and the Ravens and Buccaneers will clinch the top 3, including the winner of this game in Buffalo. Here comes Jaden Daniels in these Commanders, down by 5, but down goes Jaden Daniels thanks to Joey Bosa, a sack for a loss of 7. Trying to get those yards back with Deebo Samuel. He'll do just that, but it's going to be 3rd and long. At the bare minimum, they should be able to put points on the board, rather a field goal or a touchdown, and Daniels is going to step up, and he gets the first down and extends the drive. Now at the 19-yard line, where Daniels might run again, and he might have another first down, but it'll be tackled just short, 3rd and 3. They're wasting a lot of clock, which actually is a good thing. They don't want Josh Allen to get this football back. Daniels just keeps on running, but this time it's a 4th down. Oh no, not good. Well, this conversion ultimately decides the game. 4th and 2 from the 10. Daniels will keep on running. Daniels! I think he got it. Yes, he does. 1st and goal from the 7. Now it really seems Josh Allen's not getting this back at all, but Daniels, does he not notice that there's other players in the offense? He can hand it off to Bijan Robinson. You're going to have to pass the football if you want to get in the end zone. He just keeps on taking off and running. Why? Why? Just throw the damn football. It's 3rd and goal from the 12. 2 more chances to get in the end zone. It's 3rd and goal from the 12. He's actually passing, and look, if you would have done that to begin with, I mean, maybe you would have had the touchdown by now, but it's 4th and goal from the 1. Puka Nacua with the reception, and this is what the game comes down to. They're gonna pass. 4th and goal from the 1. Jaden Daniels, can he make it? Yes, he will. The Commanders score a touchdown with 21 seconds. Just in case Josh Allen miraculously gets in field goal range, Jaden Daniels, is he gonna get there? Is he gonna get there? No, he's not. It's a 1-point game. Is there a chance for Buffalo? He's got 17 seconds to get in field goal range. This goes to George Kittle. Timeout to 39. That only takes off 4 seconds. That's pretty ideal. Josh Allen, oh, he wanted field goal range right there, but it's incomplete. He's got 10 seconds. He needs to find that again. He stays out in the flat, and they need to call a timeout. It's 4th and inches. They need a quick 10 yards or just go to the end zone, and it's going to go to the end zone, or at least round there, and it is caught at the 22, but there's no time left, and the Commanders will hold on and make it to the top 3. And so for the first time today, we're actually going to see the double trouble in effect. They get to take 2 players from the Bills. First, DeAndre Hopkins, and second, Jalen Ramsey, both 99 overalls. The Bills will fall just short again. Maybe one day they'll get an episode win under their belt. So it's the final 3, the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Commanders, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Turn 32, it is now a 60% chance that the Baltimore Ravens get landed on. Let's see if that's the case. Yes, it will be. Looking at the map, there's really nowhere they can go other than an arrow pointing east. So that being said, we're just going to do a whatever it's closest to situation. So an arrow closer to Florida for the Buccaneers, or an arrow closer to the East Coast for the Commanders, and it is close. Matter of fact, the same thing happened where that arrow landed on someone anyways, and it's going straight into the Washington Commanders, which means the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have clinched the championship game. Keep in mind, they are dead last in this series history. The Battle of the DMV, the winner of it moves up to the championship of today's episode. Derrick Henry starts with a handoff. He trucks forward for a gain of 9. They'll get a playoff before the 2-minute warning. It's going to go to Davante Adams, reaching forward to the 26. And with only 1 timeout, they have to be careful. And this is going to go to Derrick Henry, looking to gain a couple of yards. He can't get out of bounds, so a lot of time is going to be taken off the clock here. Down to 90 seconds. We're still staying short, but at least getting out of bounds will stop the clock. It's 3rd and 5 to Mark Andrews. So 3rd and 5 from the 21. This is a completion to the 2-yard line to Jamar Chase, wearing number 84. Chances are we'll see overtime unless the Commanders can come up with a stop. Derrick Henry is met instantly. It's 2nd and goal from the 3. Down to 45 seconds. They'll go through the air this time. Back to Derrick Henry. He does not have blockers. It's 3rd and goal from the 2. 2 more chances for the Ravens. 18 seconds remaining. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson's in the end zone, and got my hopes up there for a second. They should kick the extra point to go to overtime. Oh my goodness, they're going for 2. They are going for 2. This is to make it the championship game. I am surprised with this call, considering they were bad from the goal line earlier. From the 2, Lamar Jackson to throw, and open is Zay Flowers. The Ravens have a 1-point lead with 15 seconds. Absolute balls of steel from Coach Harbaugh to go for 2 there, and the Commanders have to find a way to get in field goal range with 12 seconds. Jaden Daniels just gets a couple. They need a good 30 or 40 yard completion here with 5 seconds. That's not even close. Probably the final play of the game, unless I can get a quick completion and get down quick. Oh, wow, that could have been good. Incomplete. And that is where the game will actually end. The Ravens, a huge call to make it to the championship game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the final player still today will be Jalen Ramsey going to Baltimore. Unbelievable. Got a lot of land changing here, so the Ravens take control of the East Coast. It almost looks like they've won the episode, but nope, Florida still exists. So a couple storylines for this game. As As I mentioned, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are historically bad in this series, so much that they are currently sitting in dead last in the Imperialism standings. Not to spoil it, but you probably already knew that if you're a long-time watcher. You would probably also know how good the Ravens have been in this series, so it is a night and day between these two teams historically in this series. As the Ravens have already won 2 episodes, they're going for their 3rd if they can take down the Buccaneers here. So we'll do one final spin to determine who's home and who's away. I'm not going to spin an arrow just because this is really weird land areas, but remember, the Ravens have clover, so there's a higher chance they get landed on. It's 3-1, which means the Ravens have a 75% chance to be the attacking team, which means they have to play the game in Tampa Bay. But let's just see, maybe they will get lucky and it lands on the Buccaneers here. On the final wheel spin, it does not, and the Ravens will go on the road to play Tampa Bay. Just before we begin our final game, look at the free agent pool it's going to end up on. So many good players that were just not even on claim rosters to end this video. Insane. Let's take a look at our 2 final rosters. However, the Ravens rocking with Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Jalen Ramsey, Lamar, Devontae Adams, Trent Williams, Jeffrey Simmons, Roquan Smith. Pretty good team. Whereas the Buccaneers, which I would definitely say the underdogs, Bobby Wagner, Tristan Wirfs, Levante David, Vita Vea, Mike Evans, Antoine Winfield, Micah Fitzpatrick, Josh Hines-Allen, and then of course Baker Mayfield. The championship game, 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The Buccaneers currently have a lead, but the Ravens are looking to respond back. An angry run by Derrick Henry to the 20. If they do end up putting a touchdown on the board, that means a touchdown would be the only option for Tampa Bay. Derrick Henry, another great run to the 9. We have 6 minutes remaining. Tampa drop back in zone, and this is going to go to number 43, Justice Hill, who gets to the 3-yard line. It's 3rd and goal. There's a chance the Ravens might have to settle for a field goal. However, watching that 2-point conversion, I think they probably would go for this as well. 3 yards out. Lamar to pass. Lamar now runs. Lamar spin moves off a defender who can't make the tackle. If you make that tackle there, that's huge. A big touchdown for the Ravens. How does this even happen? You just spin move off the back of a Buccaneer? This will now force Baker Mayfield to put a touchdown on the board as they trail by 4. And he's got 5 minutes to do exactly that. We're starting with Mike Evans, who can't come down with it. 2nd and 10. Mayfield goes to Bucky Irving, being a big piece today for their offense as he gains 8. It's a 3rd down and 2, which they basically need to convert. Baker Mayfield looking mobile right now as he drops down to the 45. They move the chains with 4 minutes remaining. Play action. Baker Mayfield winds up. This time Mike Evans has it, and he's in Ravens territory to the 41. Down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and that was triple coverage for Chris Godwin, so that's incomplete. 2nd and 10. This time they get another conversion, a 1st down to the 26. Time is going down to 3 minutes, and another pass completion. No, it's a fumble! No, Chris Godwin fumbled it with 3 minutes remaining. They're not done yet. They have to get some stops now. Oh, the drive was going so well, but Chris Godwin turned his head too fast right into 2 Ravens defenders who just sandwiched him. The Ravens keep on finding ways miraculously to win games. Can they do it here? Going to the fullback, that's a good start. Well, in the case of Tampa Bay's defense, 2nd and 10, they're going to pass this the exact same play, but this time it's a positive game, but it's going to be 3rd down. This could be game if Tampa cannot force a stop. It's 3rd down and 3. Lamar to pass. Lamar up the middle to Mark Andrews. He can't hold on. Mark Andrews drops a clutch 1st down that was definitely needed to win the game. The Ravens will punt, giving Tampa another shot. That's not the only time Mark Andrews dropped a very clutch needed catch, and this punt will sail past the catcher, and it's going to the 20. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 1 timeout for Baker Mayfield to get down the field. Hit while he's thrown, and he gets a 1st down to the 30. Chris Godwin holds on this time. Just before the 2-minute warning, Mayfield crosses body for 7. So it's 3rd and 3 past the 2-minute warning. Mayfield's pass is deflected, could have been picked out of the air, and it's 4th and 3. This could be the end of the episode right here. 4th down and 3. Mayfield converts and will stay alive to the 45. 90 seconds to go. They still have to go 55 yards, deflecting off his offensive line. It's 3rd and 10. Needing a huge 3rd down conversion here. They'll stay out in the flat, so it's going to be another 4th down as Bucky Irving picks up only 3. So the second time I'm saying this drive. 4th and 7. To stay alive, they need 7 yards. Baker Mayfield gets a 1st down to Chris Godwin. We keep on going. I don't know how much longer we'll keep going, though, because there's only 55 seconds left in this game. Mike Evans reaches a 1st down. They're not calling a timeout at the 28. So down to 33 seconds. We're still staying short in the middle of the field. They call their final timeout at the 19. Hopefully this doesn't end up costing them. 3rd and 2, they're staying in the flat. Oh, he's getting tackled in bounds. Get up and run another play. Get up and run another play. 7 seconds to go. 6 seconds. They're going to get one final play, and it has to go to the end zone. The final play today Well short, it's dropped though. It's dropped. 1 second. 1 second. Triple stack on the right. Better be no curl routes here involved in this play. The final one with 1 second remaining. Chris Godwin goes in motion from the 20, and it's intercepted, intended for Mike Evans, and Roquan Smith steals the deal. The Ravens win Prime Imperialism. You could not have cooked up an any better ending than that. The Buccaneers were this close to getting their first ever win. And just like that, the Baltimore Ravens in a familiar spot as they will take control of the entirety of the United States of America. Unfortunately, however, leaving 2 power-ups on the map unclaimed, one of them being fast forward, which I'll definitely have to add to a future episode. So there you have it, the Ravens above all as the last one standing. A very entertaining episode. I guess that's just what happens when every team is playing in their prime. But don't go anywhere just yet, because now it's time for one of my favorite parts, which is keeping up with all the updated stats and standing at the conclusion of this episode. This was episode 17, and the Ravens obviously going to be jumping up in the leaderboards. Well, probably, I don't know, we'll see. So after a busy episode, it's time to take a look at the Imperialism leaderboards, which is something I kept track of this entire series, the last 16 episodes, and the one today, with these 5 metrics: the turns lasted, wins, losses, expansions, and a victory. Together, I tally the metrics with the Imperialism points, and we have a leaderboard for all 32 teams. A spoiler warning, of course, if you want to watch previous episodes, there should be a playlist link down below. That being said, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Starting at the very bottom from 32 to 25, we have a huge change. For the first time in a very long time, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are no longer the worst team on the leaderboard. They have been dethroned in a good way as they move up to 31, and the Chicago Bears will take that spot. Yikes. Yeah, there was about a 20-point Imperialism point difference between the Bears and Buccaneers. The Buccaneers had a really good episode, and it could have been better if Baker Mayfield connected to Mike Evans for that touchdown pass to beat the Ravens in the championship game today. Other than that, nothing really crazy changing here. The Saints and Browns swap places, the Jaguars and Falcons trending down to the final spot, and other than the Buccaneers being the surprising team that's always been bad in the series, the Rams, I've never talked about them really, but I mean, they've kind of been in a hardship in LA, sharing borders with the Niners and Chargers, so it's really hard to escape California for them. Somehow the Raiders did it today. But other than that, we're starting to see teams lose 20 games in this series, as the Saints and Jets both have 20 losses. So this is what I meant by spoiler warning, because now you can see some teams who won in previous episodes. As we move up to the next slide, 24 to 17, the Colts got out of the last slide. They went up 2 spots. They're up to 24 now. Couple teams trending down, the Lions trending down. They are the lowest ranked Imperialism victory team. They won an episode, but they sit at 22nd all time in this series. Seattle's just above them at 21, which is crazy because this team has only won 6 games in this entire series, yet they've won an episode. So they really have been one and done this entire series, which is funny. The Commanders had a good episode today. They go up 3 spots. The Titans not so well. The Steelers did the same with their Imperialism victory in the past as well. And the Eagles, to my surprise, move out of the top half of the league. They dropped 3 spots today. Let's move up to the top half of the league from 16 to 9. And every single team on this graphic shown here have moved up or down in some way. The Panthers going down 3. The Patriots did pretty well. They went up 1. You have the Chiefs and the Cardinals going down 2. The Chiefs always surprise me in this series. This episode felt like it was made for them. They really surprised me in the wrong way, and I really think they should have gone further. The Texans have been trending up in this series as they go up to the top 12. The Packers drop out of the top 10 thanks to their early loss, and guess who joins the top 10? The Raiders, the highest trending team today, as they go up 9 spots to take the 10th spot over the Green Bay Packers. And falling out of the top 8 is the Miami Dolphins, down to 9, and the top 3 teams all have Imperialism victories from here. And here is the top 8 teams all time in this series. Is the Buffalo Bills are in the top 8, but they're the only team up here without an Imperialism victory. It's symbolic. It's like them in real life in a way. And then you have the Vikings, the Chargers, the Niners, the Bengals, the Cowboys. All those teams don't move at all, other than the only movement up here is the Broncos and the Ravens. And about time we have somebody new at the top of the leaderboard. For the first time ever in this series, it is a team not named the Broncos, not named the Cowboys, and for all right reasons. Because the Baltimore Ravens have 3 episode wins, 30 wins, 700 Imperialism points, 322 turns lasted. Some of those numbers no other team has. They now lead the Broncos by 13 Imperialism points, and obviously the reason why the Broncos are so good, I mean, obviously they have an episode win, but as I was saying, they have 35 expansions in this series. That is a lot, more than anybody else. So yeah, a lot of precedents set by the Ravens this episode. They are the second team with multiple championship wins, other than the Bengals, but they're the first team with 3. Matter of fact, if you only take the Imperialism points they've gotten from their victories, which is 3, that's 3 times times 50 is 150. They almost have more than last place with the Chicago Bears, so that's kind of crazy. So I want to thank you guys for watching a very chaotic episode of NFL Imperialism. This was a really fun one to do, and I can go and guarantee you right now that the next one is probably going to be just as fun, if not more. I'll give you a hint for watching this long. Let's just say next episode there's going to be a lot of casualties of war. I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.